presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Game night at Miller Park, Milwaukee, and the roof is open. Blue skies up above. We're set for a great night here for the grand old game. The Pittsburgh Pirates and the Milwaukee Brewers, game 2 of this 4-game series. A lot of kids in the ballpark having some fun already. Andrew McCutchen's got to be one of the best 6-hole hitters in the game right now. He is red hot in the month of June, hitting .377, hit a big home run last night. Travis Shaw also homered last night, number 13 on the year. He's back in the lineup at third base this evening. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us tonight. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. We'll hear from Sophia Menard in just a moment. Well, let's get started here with Zach Davies. He's on the mound. He's trying to get the Brewers back to winning ways. Davies making his 15th start of the season, Rock. This will be his second start against the Pirates, and he's going along pretty well right now. I don't think he's going along as well as he'd hoped. The numbers are a touch higher as the league has made adjustments on him, but there is an uptick to Davies that he's looking forward to tonight.
And again, it's all about the command. I think the big difference between Zach this year and last year, he was getting outs early in counts, and I think that came on the changeup, the curveball last year, but this year a little bit different. He's got to manage his pitch count much better, and that goes to the command of all of his pitches, the fastball command, particularly that fastball on the outside corner to right-handers. He's really struggled with that pitch. Still coming in fairly effectively, but the changeup at the knees, it has to be over the plate. He's been missing with that pitch early in the count. That was a big out pitch for him last year, not so much this year.
Numbers not too different for Davies at this point this season compared to last year at this time. Well, on the other end of the spectrum, it's Willie Peralta. He is grinding to try to salvage his career right now. Sophia has more on the Willie Peralta story when we come back from Miller Park.
Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. By Hupy and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
Peralta has the Reds down to their last strike. 2-2 to Brandon Phillips. And a bouncing ball up the middle. Segura. The throw to first in time, and Willie Peralta with his first career shutout.
A flashback to Willie Peralta's first career shutout all the way back on July 9th, 2013. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park. Last night, Willie Peralta came in for a relief appearance, gave up 4 earned runs in that inning with 1 walk. And it's been part of a story for Willie, struggling out of the bullpen, and a great part of him struggling over the last few years of his career. The Brewers signed him in 2005. He made his debut in 2012 as their top prospect. From there until 2014, he was 30-27. The earned run average 3.83, and over the last 3 seasons, he has struggled as a starter, now in a transition role, coming out of the bullpen over the last month for Craig Counsell, but the results have not been there for Peralta. You see he's gone 17-25, the 5.24 earned run average. Craig Counsell and Willie Peralta addressed his struggles and the frustrations that have been building with that lack of results.
We're having to realize this is a transition. We're hoping that we can at some point make progress with it. We haven't made any progress up to this point. You know, but I think that's the one thing we're holding on to a little bit, but frankly it's getting tough.
Right now than last year. Then like I said, missing with all my pitches, and I feel like my sinker's still flat every time that I throw it, and that's been the reason. Like, even the ball doesn't hit hard, being found the hole. It's a rough time right now, but just trying to continue working hard and if he can get out.
Well, Willie Peralta needs to bounce back from the pen. The Brewers look to even the series against the Pirates here tonight. They've got a sweet 16-run streak. All 16 of those runs coming via the home run. Can that streak continue here tonight? First pitch coming up next.
At Miller Park, and we're ready for a little Tuesday night baseball. Tonight's game on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. A lot of rain came through the area, some thunderstorms earlier today, but it is perfect for baseball here on this Tuesday night. 72 degrees. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minnaert, our terrific reporter. Tonight's game being produced by Dan Keener and directed by Mark Vittorio. There is Clint Hurdle, now in year number 7 as the Pirates skipper. Pittsburgh winning last night by an 8-1 final score. And the Pirates improving to 32-38. They are still 5 back of the first place Brewers to start play today. Here is Clint Hurdle's batting order, Rock, courtesy of Potawatomi. It's Frazier leading off with Harrison, then Polanco. In the middle goes David Freese. Elias Diaz gets to start behind the plate. That is because Francisco Cervelli, a late scratch with flu-like symptoms. McCutchen, the former MVP, hit 6th, and then it's Osuna, Mercer, and Kuhl rounding out the starting 9 against Zach Davies.
Yeah, Zach making his career start number 5 against the Pirates. He's 1-2. He has really gotten roughed up by Pittsburgh in those 4 starts. 17 earned runs in 16 innings. That's an earned run average of about 9.5. He's got to turn that around tonight.
Davies ready to fire. First pitch on the way, and it is outside for ball 1, and off we go from Miller Park. Zach's been given a ton of run support this season from his offense. Hope that trend continues tonight. If there is a silver lining in last night's game, the Brewers were able to get to the finish line with their bullpen with just 2 relievers, Peralta and Espino. Espino actually picked up 2 2/3 innings. Fly ball to left, and Franklin has to leap at the last moment. And the infielder turned outfielder almost ran that one into an extra base hit. He says, I had it all the way. Everybody relax.
He's saying, yeah, I got to calm down myself. Let's check out the Menards defense. Let's check out everybody else. We saw Franklin make a play. Brinson gets a start in center field. Santana in right. Shaw, Arcia, Sogard, Thames. No real changes in the infield for Craig Counsell, and Manny Pena gets another start behind home plate.
We're going to hear from Sophia a little bit later with updates on injured Brewers, Jonathan Villar and Ryan Braun. Brewers are playing without 2 of their regular starters, and especially Braun, their best hitter, but they have maintained their top spot, the National League Central Division. Josh Harrison takes a strike. There's Ryan Braun, still out with the calf strain. We've seen him each and every day taking batting practice, and a return is coming soon, hopefully, for Ryan Braun. He's anxious to get back out there. In the meantime, the Brewers have been mixing and matching well. They've had a number of players play left field. Franklin gets that call tonight. That hit him. So Davies hits Josh Harrison. He leads all of Major League Baseball in hit by pitches. That's number 13 and the 2nd in as many days.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Fastball command for Zach Davies has been in question a lot of the times this year, and there's another example of it. Just getting a piece of the jersey of Harrison so he gets first base.
Harrison had been 4 for 4 with a walk against Zach Davies, and now a hit by pitch will put him at first with 1 out. Here's Gregory Polanco now, hitting 3rd in this Pirates order, and he lines one to right on the first pitch. He jumps on it. Harrison's on his way to 3rd. The throw comes all the way in, and it hits Harrison. Well, a tough break. That might have had a chance at an out if it does not hit Josh Harrison.
That's a tremendous throw by Domingo Santana all the way on the fly and got him right in the back. Yeah, you're right. It would have been interesting had that ball not hit him. Travis Shaw was waiting right there. Yeah, Polanco gets a pitch down and in. Harrison with really good speed and challenging the arm of Domingo Santana. Santana had the baseball before Harrison was even at 2nd. If that ball gets through, he's probably going to be out. Tough break.
So 1st and 3rd with 1 man out, and Davies having to go into the stretch and deal with David Freese with a couple of men on right out of the gates here tonight. High stress pitches early, and he spins one in for a strike on Freese.
Those off-speed pitches early in the count just vital for Davies. That's what he was able to do so effectively last year. Change-ups, curveballs, getting outs early in counts. Haven't seen much of that yet this year.
Freese had 2 hits last night, the former Cardinal, former Angel, and has settled in the last 2 years as the everyday third baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Freese with 6 homers this season, has 23 driven in, and Davies hoping for that first inning ground ball to turn 2 and get him out of this first. Brewers had the early lead last night, 1-0. They scored in the second on a Travis Shaw homer. But then Pittsburgh scored twice in the third and never looked back. They won the game 8-1 on 11 hits. Garrett Cole was very good last night.
There you go. Right on the outside corner.
Davies has been close, just been a tick off from where he was last year. Just not so sharp with that fastball. Here's a 1-2, and that one's on the ground. Arcia ranges over, can't find the handle, and this is going to bring in a run.
Well, we saw a lot of that last night. Ground balls for base hits for the Pirates. You get that ground ball a little bit over toward Arcia, it's a double play ball. Freese doesn't run all that well. As it stands, it's a base hit, RBI, and the Pirates with an early lead. And check out the location. It leaked over the plate. It was supposed to be away and just out of the reach of Arcia. Might have been able to get it out at second. Run would have scored anyway.
So 2 hits and a hit batter in the inning. RBI for David Freese. Comes on a 1-2 pitch, and that'll bring up Elias Diaz, the Pirates backup catcher. This guy's been productive when he's played. He's backing up Cervelli, who signed a 3-year deal with the Pirates. Cervelli was scratched with flu-like symptoms prior to the game. They actually had Cervelli in the original starting lineup. Had to reissue the starting 9. Diaz in his last 11 starts is hitting .375 with 4 doubles and a homer. He's bringing some offense to that backup catcher role. That one's into center field shallow. Brinson can't get there. And the bases are loaded here with 1 out.
Right off the end of the bat. Off speed pitch for Davies, and once again Davies battling with a big inning. Here's a changeup, but up in the zone. It had the plate. It was up, allowing Diaz to get a bat on it. You can see Brinson froze just for a second. That's all it took, and falls in front.
I think even the Pirates would be the first to admit the hits they have gotten in this series, especially early in yesterday's game, have been the seeing eye variety. I was talking to their hitting coach earlier today, Jeff Branson, former big league infielder, and he said we're swinging the same. You know, we've been going along okay, but now our hits are starting to fall, and when hits start to fall, the confidence starts to rise.
Right.
And then you get yourself in some dangerous positions from an opposing pitcher's standpoint. And with Andrew McCutchen at the plate right now, this is a little more than Zach Davies wanted to deal with in the first inning.
Yeah, that and the fact that the last 2 base hits for the Pirates have been mistakes by Davies. Location mistakes.
McCutchen homered last night to the opposite field. He has been a red hot hitter since he moved down in the batting order. .393 hitter his last 14 games. Has 5 home runs, OPS nearly at 1,200. And in June, he's hitting .377. He bottomed out batting .203 on May 26th. Ever since then, it has gone north for Andrew McCutchen.
Well, he said less pressure down in that spot in the batting order, and it's very unusual to see a guy like Andrew McCutchen hitting this low in the batting order. But it certainly helped him. You can see the big difference right in the middle of the thick of it in the number 3 spot. And that's where you'd expect a guy like McCutchen.
Yeah, former MVP, the face of the franchise. You want those guys to handle that pressure. I think the Pirates feel like at some point, if they're going to get back in contention, they need him higher in the batting order. It is not often you get a situation like this where your 6th place hitter is batting in the 1st inning with men on base. But that's the challenge for Zach Davies right now with McCutchen. McCutchen has bounced into a lot of double plays this year, believe it or not, with his speed. He has grounded into 8 double plays. Davies desperate for one here early. 1-2 pitch. Chops another one foul.
And two-seam fastball, good pitch, in off the plate. That's the kind of pitch you get a ground ball. This has always been, I mean, last year, a situation like this, this is a change-up pitch for Davies, but he really hasn't been able to locate it very well.
Everything inside on McCutchen. He's got the quickest hands in the big leagues. There was a changeup, and McCutchen didn't bite on it.
That was a good one, too.
2-2 the count. Bases loaded, full of Pirates. A run is in, 1 man out. After a hit batter, 3 consecutive hits for Pittsburgh. Count goes full, nowhere to put him. On deck is Jose Osuna. Zach in damage control early tonight. Shift is on for McCutchen. 3 infielders on the left side. Thames is the only infielder on the right side. And McCutchen lines one to left. Base hit. Polanco is in. Freeze around third. Here comes the throw. It is late. Gets back to the screen. Both runners will advance. Now this one is not starting well for Milwaukee. 3-0 already, and second and third with 1 out.
And that's been the issue for Zach. I mean, big innings early in the game, and not necessarily the first inning, but, you know, first 3 innings, a lot of times he's given up a crooked number. It's a 3 spot in the first inning, only 1 out. You can see where that pitch ends up. It's a full count, bases loaded, fastball down the middle, and McCutchen turns it around. That'll be a single, a couple of RBIs, and an E7.
Brewers continue to commit errors on this homestand. They had a string of 5 straight games without an error, and they have not played well defensively. That's a big error, too. It allows both runners to advance, takes the double play option away. Craig Counsell and company had defensive drill work before the game today instead of batting practice. A swing and a miss by Osuna. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick Franklin charged with that error. It's Franklin's first of the year. Brewers have their infield halfway in. Anything hit firmly, they'll take a shot at the plate. And that ball's hit firmly deep into left field, and that ball's gone. Home run for Osuna. Yikes. 3-run home run, and Pittsburgh has a 6th spot on the board in the first inning.
It's almost as if they know what's coming. I mean, when you see guys taking changeups and really not offering. He threw a pretty good one with McCutchen. He just kind of looked at it and said, I'm not swinging at that. There's a fastball. Watch where it ends up. Middle in, up in the zone, and Osuna turns on it, knocks it out of here. And there's that crooked number against Davies. Once again, the big inning biting him here tonight.
These are tough to come back from. 6-run deficits early. Davies has given up 5 straight hits, 6 consecutive base runners. Derek Johnson to the mound. And Davies will try to get restarted here. All these runs are earned. Error will not factor in this scenario. Here's Jordy Mercer now. Yeah, it does make you wonder, do the Pirates have something on Davies? Have they spotted something in his delivery that would allow them to pick something up?
Well, you look at his numbers, his career numbers against Pittsburgh. I went through them before the game. I mean, 17 earned runs in 4 starts. That covers 16 innings.
A 9.56 ERA coming into play tonight, and he's already given up 6 in this one. He's recorded 1 out. First batter of the game, Frazier, lined out to left. Remember, he hit the ball hard. 1-2 pitch. It's a good example right there. That's a good breaking ball from Davies.
2 strikes. Curveballs, change-ups. They're just kind of looking at him and letting him go by out of the strike zone. It's either that or the Pirates, approach against Davies is, look, he's struggling with the off speed. If he throws you off speed before 2 strikes, don't swing at it. Of course, Jordy Mercer took one with 2 strikes.
That ball's into left field, hit well. Franklin's on the run, can't get it. That's a bouncer off the fence. Mercer's on his way to third. Throw comes in, it's late. That's a triple. And the beat goes on for the Pirates. 2-strike triple by Jordy Mercer.
That curveball, check out where it ends up. I mean, whether you have pitches or not, you're going to get a good swing at a curveball up there. That was just a bad pitch. He hangs it and he hits it down the line. And Franklin doing what he can do to try and make a catch. That ball gets away from him. Mercer ends up at third base. That was just a hanger.
10-game hitting streak for Jordy Mercer. Here's the pitcher, Chad Kuhl, who bats in this first inning with 1 out.
Got the first out of the game and nothing since.
7 straight base runners, 6 consecutive hits. Or a disastrous beginning for Zach Davies. These are ERA busters right here.
Chad Kuhl getting an at-bat before he hits the mound. Got to make him feel good.
Still hitless on the year. 12 at-bats. And Davies finally gets out number 2. Strikes out the pitcher. And back to the top of the order now. 10th batter of the inning. A brutal start tonight for the Brew Crew. Adam Frazier now, who lined out that first out. Pitch number 36 of the inning is in there for a strike. Little tapper. Davies will play this one to first, and this inning mercifully comes to an end. If only you could take a mulligan in baseball. 6 runs on 6 hits in the first. 10 batters for the Pirates, and they're out early big. A lot of baseball to play. We head to the bottom of the first inning, and Craig Counsell's Brewers are down 6-0 to start this game. A rough first inning for Zach Davies. Sogard, Thames, and Santana will get it started. In the middle go Shaw, Pena, and Franklin, and then Brinson, Arcia, and Davies round out the Potawatomi batting order for Milwaukee.
And Chad Kuhl making start number 14. He won his first start of the year. He beat Atlanta back on April 8th and hasn't won a game since. 6 consecutive losses. As far as decisions go, .561 the earned run average. He's thrown the ball much better as of late. He did lose to the Rockies last time out. 5 innings, 3 runs.
24-year-old out of Delaware. He's from Bear, Delaware, and pitched at the University of Delaware. Facing Eric Sogard to start the inning, and the first pitch is in there for a strike.
And Chad Kuhl well aware of what Zach Davies feels like here. He had a start against the Cubs in April. Gave up 9 runs in an inning and 2/3.
Sogard sends one deep into right center field, way back there. One hop up and out of here. A ground rule double for Sogard. That's how you get it started. Sogard now with an 8-game hit streak. This guy can do no wrong right now for the Brewers. He's been fun to watch.
Yeah, when he's in the starting lineup, he just gets on base, whether it be a base hit, a walk, any way on. There's that fastball out away from him, and he hits it over the head of McCutchen. Yeah, good start for the crew. Yeah, peck away at that lead.
Sogard in his starts this year is hitting over .370. Just added to it. Eric Thames at the plate takes a ball. Thames, the National League home run leader with 20. Check that. He is second in the league in home runs. Bellinger has caught and passed him, and now Thames sends one high to left field. Back is Frazier with room, and he's got it for the out. Sogard's going to tag, and he'll make it to third.
Check out Menard's Pirates defense for tonight. Yeah, the Pirates defensively around middle of the pack in the National League. You got Frazier, McCutchen, Polanco. You got a couple of changes from last night. Osuna gets a start at first base. Josh Bell does not start today. Francisco Cervelli, flu-like symptoms, scratch. You got Diaz behind home plate.
Diaz with a single and a run scored in the first inning, already contributing. Domingo Santana now with a runner at third and 1 out, and that pitch is down low. See that fastball velocity by Kuhl? That is up a few miles per hour, and Clint Hurdle was talking about that. That the first time they saw it, maybe just feeling like Kuhl had a little more adrenaline. That was just a one-off, but he has maintained this velocity, and he's pitching regularly now 94 to 97 miles an hour. He's also added a curveball, a slow curveball, as a change of pace pitch. So suddenly Chad Kuhl has added a little bit to his arsenal here in the major leagues after dominating the minor leagues for parts of 3 seasons.
And he's pitched well against the Brewers. This is his 4th career start. He's 1-0. He's only allowed 3 earned runs in 15 innings. So against Milwaukee, he's been pretty good.
2-1 to count on Santana. 2-2 now.
99.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's got that 6-run lead. He's not about to blow it, right?
Bringing the heat. And this is a guy that pitched in the 92-94 range comfortably, and he's found an extra gear. Mechanics have solidified, and he's getting stronger as he has made his way up through the Pirate system. And a nasty breaking ball to strike out Santana for the 2nd out. Yikes. That's top of the line kind of stuff right there from Chad Kuhl.
Yeah, the big fastball. Then you got the slider to go with it off the plate. And they say the curveball just as good. He's been throwing a lot of those too. That one way off the outside corner.
How about that? Road games, he's been okay. No wins yet, but he's pitching much better on the road than he is at pitcher-friendly PNC Park. 2 outs now. Here is Shaw with a runner at third. Up and in.
Now you take a look at that earned run average. You say, boy, he's been really bad at PNC Park. But I just mentioned that game against the Cubs. 9 runs in an inning and 2/3. That was at home. So, you can look at those earned run average numbers. And on the surface, they look bad, but you got to peel it back a little bit.
Last night, Garrett Cole, the Pirates ace, he pitched well, 7 innings in the game last night, gave up just 1 run. That was a home run by Shaw. Opposite field home run for Travis. And yet another home run that hits the top of the fence for the Brewers. This is the 3rd in the last 5 days that hit the top of the fence and went out. Jimmy Nelson was in mid-interview with us here in the booth, and with a headset on, received him at the end of the gauntlet.
Did you see the pitch, though? A change up, down and in, and he hit it out to the opposite field.
2-out walk to Travis Shaw. These are the kind of games, Rock, right, where you get a little greedy offensively. You know you've got a lot of work to do. And if you can get a quick strike right here in the 1st inning,
yeah,
get a 3-run home run right now, changes everything. And Manny Pena has delivered with the long ball twice on this homestand already.
Yeah, that sends a message to the Pirates saying we're not going to give up. You're going to have to win this game in 9 innings. We're going to keep coming at you.
So Pena's up there with 2 outs, 1st and 3rd.
He's slinging that pitch at 98 right off the outside corner.
Manny back in the starting lineup tonight. He's been the hot bat for the Brewers in that catching combo. And the count goes to 1-2 now on Pena.
He had 3 games in a row for Manny Pena, and that's kind of unusual with his catching tandem. But Bandy has really had a rough time at the plate. Manny's swinging it well, so Craig Counsell elects to keep Pena behind home plate tonight.
I think Craig Counsell would be the first to admit the reason the catchers are having so much success, despite Bandy's slump right now, but they're not having to catch every day. That is a good platoon system. It's not a left-right platoon, but it is a shared job. Keeping them fresh, able to dive into the scouting report a little bit more. It works well so far.
And it's been consistent with Pena catching the same guys, Bandy pretty much the same guys. This is normally Bandy's night. Yeah, with Zach Davies out on the mound, but not this night.
Bandy's in the middle of an 0 for 23 slump at the plate, so he's anxious to get back in there and try to finish that off. 2-2 to Manny. Fights it off foul. Big velocity early. Remember Chad Kuhl, we saw him last year after he got the call up from the minor leagues. Made 14 starts in the big leagues last year, and the discussion around Kuhl was he's got a great arm, but less is more for him. Less velocity equals more command, and it looks like he's ditched that this year because he is bringing the heat.
Yeah, it's basically fastball, slider, everything firm. Kuhl was a starting pitcher in Pittsburgh. You remember the Brewers had that rain delay. Jimmy Nelson, Chad Kuhl was the pitcher for the Pirates. He threw 3 scoreless innings that night and could not return.
Well, it's early, but it is a big spot for the Brewers. They're down 6-0 already. 2-2 to Pena, and he fouls one away. He's in a good battle at the plate. That's why he's in the lineup 3 straight days. 370 batting average and those 2 home runs. One of them put the Brewers ahead against San Diego on Sunday. Proved to be the game winner late. He also hit a game tying home run in the 8th inning on Friday against San Diego. Pitch number 8 of the at bat. And he got him. Nasty breaking ball, and the Brewers come up empty in the first inning. We go to the second. Rough start for the Crew tonight. See if they got a comeback in them. Down 6-0 early.
A 6-0 lead here as we go to the second. Our scoops from the clubhouse brought to you by Car Soup. Talking with manager Craig Counsell. Some updates for you. Jonathan VR with the lower back strain on the disabled list, but Counsell said today that he's ready to go out on that minor league rehab assignment. They're just working through some weather issues with Colorado Springs to determine when VR could go out. And more on Ryan Braun. He's described it as that Braun is kind of stalled in his progress. He said he's good doing the pregame workouts, but not past the point of being able to get on the field and not thinking about the calf while he's doing those workouts. So still no timeline yet for Braun.
Got to be able to turn left in baseball, right? Running the bases, and Braun has not been able to do that. So I'm sure he is taking the cautious approach as the Brewers maintain their spot atop the division. Nice play on a ground ball with some spin on it, some English, and Thames will take it to the bag to retire Harrison.
You'd rather have him miss an extra week on this end than have him come back early and then have him miss another month.
Which is what happened to Braun the first time around. He came back for just 4 days and felt like he really wasn't healthy, and it was giving him trouble. Weather was bad as well. Now the Brewers are trying to stay above water without him, but at some point not having Ryan Braun in your batting order is a serious loss, and it changes the lineup when he does come back. So it's great the Brewers are able to do what they're doing. They're keeping a record over 500, 4 over to start play today. The division continues to sputter as well, namely the Cubs. And I would imagine if the Cubs catch fire and the Brewers fall out of first place, then that's when you'd see Braun hopefully back in the lineup. Not that he's waiting on that. He wants to make sure he's healthy, but right now there's no reason to rush back.
Yeah, I think that the team has done a really good job offensively without Braun in the lineup. I didn't think they could do that for this long without him in the lineup. They have.
Polanco in the air to center field, playable for Brenton. And 2 up and 2 down for Davies.
Hey, the Brewers and Marlins face off in a Friday night showdown on June 30th at 7 o'clock. And because it's a 5-county Friday here at the ballpark, all 5-county residents save 50% on tickets. Reserve your spot today at brewers.com/5county.
Davies with 2 outs. Trying to settle in this game a little bit. Always imperative for a starter when you have an inning like that. If you can extend in this outing and at least give your manager 4 or 5 innings, then you could turn a miserable start into a bit of a second round success, and you're trying to have something you can hang your hat on. Davies trying to calm things down. He has retired 4 in a row, but the Pirates score 6 runs in the first with 1 out in the inning.
Yeah, tough to come back from 6 runs down. Yeah, Brewers have done it once already this year.
Now, that was a Mother's Day game, down 7-1 against the Mets. One of the great games ever here at Miller Park. Manny Pena with that decisive home run in the comeback against New York. 3 balls and a strike on Freeze. Lost him, ball 4. By the way, the 6-run inning for the Pirates, the most they have scored on the road since 2015. It's been 2 years. They scored 7 runs in the first inning against the Cardinals back in August of 15. 6 hits in the first inning matches the season high for an inning. And it wasn't just 6 hits, it was 6 consecutive hits and 7 straight base runners.
And no surprise, because the Pirates have had a difficult time scoring runs for the most part. You know, for the season, they're 11th in the league in runs scored, 11th in batting average, off to a slow start offensively. Much better lately, though.
Wave and a miss by Diaz. 0-2 the count. That was a good off-speed pitch by Davies.
That's a pretty mighty hack right there on a curveball in the dirt. He hit a changeup for a base hit to center field his first time up. Let's see if he throws him another one.
2 outs in the inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pena sets up inside and Davies misses away. Zach just has not had his command, and for a pitcher like him, he has to be impeccable with his command.
He's got to be able to work ahead in the count to be effective with the off-speed stuff. There's that changeup. He just can't find that pitch. It's been very inconsistent all year.
From 0-2 to 3-2, Freeze will get a head start at first base. And the pitch comes, a bouncing ball, slow roller. Shaw gives way to Arcia, and Arcia throws him out. Heck of a play to end the inning. Orlando Arcia with a gun to first base. That was a wise choice by Shaw. Pirates will certainly want to look at this to make sure he got him. And Shaw pulled off at the last moment. And a bang bang play at first.
Yeah, tremendous throwing arm on the run, off balance, sidearm, able to throw a bullet over to first base.
And Glenn Hurdle says let it go, no challenge. Inning over. More like it from Davies. Puts up a 0 in the second. Brewers down 6-0 coming to bat. Arcia adds another one to his highlight reel. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Tuesday night at Miller Park. Had a rough start for the Brewers, down 6-0. We go to the second inning. Chad Kuhl back to work. Brewers did get 2 base runners in the first. Couldn't deliver them. A couple of strikeouts from Kuhl. Nick Franklin will start it, the switch hitter. He gets the start in left here tonight. Franklin, Brinson, and Arcia coming up for Milwaukee. Full schedule of games in the big leagues tonight, including the Cubs and the Padres at Wrigley. Franklin hits one hard into left center. McCutchen looks up, and this ball's gone. Nick Franklin with a home run. Second of the year. And the Brewers are on the board.
Well, Chad Kuhl has had a tough time against left-handers this year, and Nick Franklin showing you why. A big fly to the opposite field. And you see that fastball pretty much right down the middle. He takes it out of here into the Brewers bullpen. And that gets the Brewers on the board.
And Kuhl upset at himself. Anything but after that home run by Franklin. Now Lewis Brinson. Left-handers against Kuhl this year hitting .336. And Franklin will add to that number. And that home run by Nick Franklin is the second against Chad Kuhl. From a left-handed hitter, better said, as Brinson takes a ball down and away. Every start for Brinson is a milestone in the big leagues. Hoping to take advantage of his playing time. The Brewers have him pegged as a 20-25 home run per year type player. He's the #1 prospect. Starting his second week in the majors. Lewis Brinson, Florida native. This is his 6th start of the season. His second start in center field, which is natural position. And he is a very good center fielder. Like most players who come up for the first time, there is a little bit of a challenge getting used to the big league surroundings as Brinson draws a walk. Good production from the bottom of the batting order. The second walk issued by Kuhl. And the speedy Brinson is aboard here with nobody out.
You just got to start feeling comfortable in the batter's box at the big league level. I mean, there is that wide-eyed factor that a lot of guys have coming up. Regardless of how confident and the things that they say, there's always that little bit of nervousness when you step into a major league batter's box. And until that goes away, that's when you really know what a hitter is going to be.
Here's Arcia now. On the first pitch, little soft line drive that will fall. Brinson will stop at second. And here we go. The Brewers in this second inning have yet to be retired. 2 singles and a walk, or 2 hits and a walk, I should say.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs. These fastballs up in the strike zone. The one to Franklin. And this one in on Arcia, but you can see Arcia really trying to make more of an effort to pull the baseball a little bit more. Early in the season, he would have tried to shoot that ball in the right field. He's still good at that, but starting to turn on pitches in on him.
Now he just made a great play to end the second inning defensively. And now a base hit. That'll bring the pitcher Davies to the plate. Nobody out. Davies likely up there to bunt. Shows bunt early, takes a strike, snap throw to second, and back is Brinson. Everybody hit the deck on that one. Chad Kuhl saw his catcher Diaz come out of the chute, and what's this?
Yeah, better duck. That's a pretty good arm.
Up down. Davies gets a bunt down. It's a beauty. Cool flips one over to first for out number 1. And Zach Davies with a sacrifice, his 7th, which is the most in the National League. And he delivers the runners to second and third now with 1 out in the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets. That's exactly to where you want to put it, down the third base line, to make David Freese leave the bag. Able to advance the base runners for the top of the batting order. Good job by Davies.
Well, now base hit. The Brewers could score 2. Sogard last time up doubled into right center. A run is in this inning. A home run by Franklin. And now you're getting into a run of lefties for Milwaukee. Sogard, Thames hit back-to-back. Travis Shaw hits 4th in the lineup. One ball, no strikes on Eric Sogard. 2-0. So these are the updated numbers after Sogard's double in the first inning. Only Justin Turner has hit for a higher batting average in starts this season than Eric Sogard. Now at 376. Lofty numbers, and he's earned his way into that lineup. So much so it will be interesting to see what Craig Counsell does when Jonathan Villar returns. Sophia reported last inning that Villar is headed out on a minor league rehab assignment. You figure that'll be 2 or 3 days. Villar's been out with a back injury, back spasms.
Well, you got to figure that Sogard's going to get his playing time. Maybe against right-handers, maybe not a straight platoon, but well, we'll see. We'll see when Villar ends up coming back.
Sogard can play all over the diamond as well. He can play short, third base, even had a game in left field earlier this season for the Brewers. He's happy to play wherever as long as he's in the lineup, and he's proved worthy. 2-2 the count on Sogard. Brewers need a big hit early in this game. Down 5 already. Ball 3. Thames due next. Every pitcher loves a big lead, but there is an element of pressure that goes with that. Full count, second and third, cool deals, and a swing and a miss. Took a little something off it on a breaking ball, and Sogard is a strikeout victim.
I'm not sure if that was a curveball. It had to be a slider at 87 miles an hour. It just took a little more off of it and going straight down, and Sogard swings right through it. That's a good pitch in that situation. Now a base. It's going to take a base hit to score the run.
Brewers had 2 on last inning. Came up empty. Got a home run to start this inning, and now second and third with 2 away. And Thames takes a strike. Oh, 0-2. Cody Bellinger of the Dodgers passed Thames with a home run yesterday. Now has 21 for the year. The rookie, the Dodger rookie, is on a record pace for rookies. Aaron Judge leads all major leaguers in homers with 23. The Yankees rookie. Thames sitting on 20. 0-2 pitch inside, almost hit him. As far as home run rate goes, talking about home runs per at bat or at bats per home run, Thames 11.2. Justin Bour of the Marlins is having a great power year. He's hit 18 this season. And Thames strikes out. No. Oh, it is a strikeout. I beg your pardon. I thought he said foul ball for a moment. That is a strikeout, and the inning is over. And the Brewers strand runners at second and third. Big opportunity there, lost. However, the Brewers are on the board. Nick Franklin, the switch hitter. A rare start tonight. He delivers with a home run. And another trip down Bernie's Slide, brought to you by Quick Trip.
With a 6-1 lead, and Zach Davies receives a proud distinction of becoming a bobblehead. On Sunday, July 2nd, the Brewers wrap up a weekend series against the Marlins, and all fans in attendance get a Zach Davies Stars and Stripes bobblehead, courtesy of Clements Sausage.
Now the Brewers get a run on a Nick Franklin homer. The streak is alive. The Brewers have now scored 17 consecutive runs via the home run ball. That is a franchise record. Major League record is 21. And Franklin keeps it alive. I think the Brewers would be very happy to have broken that record with a base hit. That last inning as McCutchen turns that one around, and that is way back and gone. And it is 7-1, and McCutchen stays red hot. Second home run in as many games. He's hit 3 now in his last 4 games. This guy's got to be the best 6th place hitter in baseball right now.
And probably the most high-priced 6th hitter in baseball. You got to figure he's going to get up in that batting order at some point. Curveball for Davies. That's not where you want to leave it. You know, inside part of the plate, and mind you, McCutchen turns it around and knocks it way out of here. Second deck and left.
McCutchen already with 3 runs batted in. Yesterday, McCutchen had 2 hits, drove in 3, had a home run, a 2-run home run. Pirates beat the Brewers 8-1 last night. It is now 7-1 already tonight. This has not been a good start to this series. Jose Osuna right back to the box, hit Davies in the leg, and he'll recover and throw him out for the first out.
Yeah, it looked like Davies was satisfied to let that ball go through and have Sogard or Urcia field it. Hit him in the leg and able to get the out himself. Yep, got him in the foot, able to make the play.
One away for Jordy Mercer now, hitting 8th in this Pirate lineup. He's been a hot hitter himself. Mercer since May 22nd has the highest batting average in the major leagues. So he's got nearly a month of a sample size here, hitting .384. Nobody better in that stretch. That includes 4 home runs and 14 runs batted in for Mercer. So you got the most productive 6th place hitter we can find and the most productive 8th place hitter we can find since late May. Clint Hurdle was asked if he's going to rearrange his lineup a little bit now that McCutcheon is hitting, as Davies strikes out Mercer for the 2nd out. Clint Hurdle just laughed. Why would I do that? We got him hot. Why do we take him out of the spot that's gotten him hot? I'm with you, though.
Laughing, but understanding that, yeah, you can't have that guy in your number 6 spot. At some point, they're going to have to move him up. Baseball people are very good at avoiding actually answering questions.
Diffusing potential headlines.
Right. And the very next day, they'll probably move in the number 3 spot.
You know, Clint Hurdle's the master at that. Right back to the mound. Davies will take care of his mound opponent cool, and after a leadoff home run retires the next 3. But McCutcheon goes deep again, and the former MVP has made it 7-1 Pittsburgh.
Home run, but the Brewers still trail the Pirates 7-1 here in the 3rd. Our minor league report. Congratulations are in order to Jake Gatewood, who last night won the Carolina League Home Run Derby in Salem, Virginia. He hit a total of 41 home runs, 13 in both the 1st and 2nd round, and then finished with 15 home runs in the final round to win it. And like we told you last night, he's now a 3-time Home Run Derby winner. When he was just 17 years old, he won the Junior Home Run Derby at the All-Star Weekend at Citi Field, and then again won it at the Baseball Factory Home Run Derby at the Under Armour All-America game at Wrigley Field. So congratulations to Jake Gatewood. You see he's off to a tremendous start with Carolina. 9 home runs for him on the season and hitting .283.
Yeah, good start for him. Nice notoriety winning a home run derby in a minor league all-star setting. Those are always fun. And perhaps we'll see him in a major league all-star game in a home run derby at some point. You never know. Domingo Santana will lead off for the Brewers. By the way, did you see in that, I think it was in that same home run derby, the kid from the Cubs A-ball team, Eloy Jimenez, he hit the light tower, like busted a light out.
Amazing.
You know how they call it light tower power?
Yeah.
That legitimately was light tower power.
Roy Hobbs.
That's it. He pulled a Roy Hobbs. Cubs prospect Eloy Jimenez.
Incredible athletic ability, a lot of these young kids. And we've seen it at the big league level and apparently all the way down to the low minor leagues.
Chad Kuhl back to work here as he faces Santana. Brewers have had him on the ropes in a couple of innings with 2 men on, but have yet to bring him in with base hits. They did get the home run to lead off an inning, and Santana's retired.
And they say Chad Kuhl's been much better at getting ground ball outs. Early in the season in April, a lot of fly ball outs. And maybe getting a little bit better movement with a two-seam fastball. And the ground balls have been coming a little bit more.
Travis Shaw with one away. Travis continues to hit. Home run number 13 yesterday off Garrett Cole, the Pittsburgh ace. Shaw making start number 61 here tonight. He leads, or is among NL leaders in RBIs. He's 10th right now. He's also 10th in the league in doubles. Top batting average as a third baseman as well. Shaw had a long hit streak going in May, an 11-gamer, which was a career high. This is going to be a career year for him across the board if he stays healthy. Hits that one sharply into the gap in left center. Over to cut it off is Frazier. Shaw on his way to second, might have a play here, and Shaw is just in there. A double for Travis Shaw. He'll move inside the top 10 with that one.
Yeah, just a sweet swing. I mean, that's one of those slump eliminating swings. I mean, just look how easy he does it. Keeps that bat in the hitting zone a long time. That's about as level a swing as you'll see. And he's able to take that pitch that's up, out over the plate, rip it into left center for a 1-out double. The Brewers have been getting their base runners. He's got to start driving them in now.
18th double of the year for Shaw to go along with his 13 homers. And for the third straight inning, the Brewers have a man in scoring position. Pena, high fly ball to center field. McCutchen is there. Shaw is going to tag. Long throw in from McCutchen is cut off, and Shaw ends up at third base with 2 outs.
Just missed that one. Just got underneath it enough to keep it in the ballpark. Had a good pitch to hit. That's a slider. It's a hanger right down the middle. Well, Manny's going to be seeing that one tonight when he goes to bed. Guys hate to miss those.
Just a tick under it. And a fly ball out for the second out of the inning. Here's Franklin now. He's got to be feeling good after an opposite field home run his first time up. Franklin is a former first-round draft pick by the Mariners. Brewers got him from the Tampa Bay Rays. They claimed him off waivers. Rays took him off the roster primarily to make room for Ricky Weeks, the former Brewer. Franklin became expendable. The Brewers acquired him. There's a connection there with assistant general manager Matt Arnold, who was an executive with the Rays. He's been a good fit, positive guy. Gets very few starts, but he's a versatile piece. Can play the outfield, can play all 4 infield spots if you need him. He's a second baseman by trade.
And a switch hitter who is much better from the left side. Hadn't had too many opportunities as a right-handed hitter.
Well, for Franklin tonight, this is his 13th start. Most of those have been in left field. Start number 10 tonight in left. So even though he prefers the infield and is most comfortable at second base, most of his action this year has been in the outfield. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Franklin. Shaw now at third base after a double. That home run for Franklin, by the way, was the first since April 8th when he homered off the Cubs' Kyle Hendricks. First homestand of the year, the second series of the season. He had been in a long drought. Sees one go over the fence, though. Home run number 2. Now 9 RBIs.
Pretty good fastball hitter. Yeah, cool. Gave him a few sliders that he swung through, but last couple of pitches, fastballs, he's been able to get the barrel on him just a little bit late.
Shaw with a double, went to third base on the flyout by Pena. 2-2 the count. 2 outs in the inning. In the dirt. Nice play back there by Diaz. That was no easy save on that one. And breaking ball in the dirt.
Yeah, no telling where these sliders are going to bounce. I mean, hit something that can carry them off of you. The best you can do is just square them up. Try to get in front of them.
Going back to the heat, and now Franklin asked for and is granted time.
More velocity on the pitch, the more difficult it is to keep close.
Hits that sharply right center. Base hit for Franklin. In to score is Shaw. Franklin on his way to second. And a 2-out RBI double. How about it? 7-2 Pittsburgh as Franklin delivers his second RBI.
Well, finally the Brewers able to come up big with a man in scoring position. 1 for 7. And that home run streak of runs is over. I think everybody breathing a sigh of relief after that. Yeah, fastball 2-seamer, and look at Franklin able to open up the hips and drop the head of the bat on this one all the way to the wall, and Travis Shaw able to walk home from third base.
Ray Searage on his way to the mound. 17 consecutive runs via the homer. Snapped with that base hit by Franklin. It's not that the Brewers don't want to score runs via the home run ball, but you want to score runs in other ways as well and not sit back and wait for just the home run. The first 2 innings, a perfect example of that.
And Brewers were men at second and third and 1 out, not able to score. And those are the things that drive your manager crazy. You put the ball in play. That's when the strikeouts really hurt, when you have those situations.
So that'll get Brinson a swing in this 3rd inning. Franklin at second. Buckled his knees with that breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lewis Brinson. He was a first rounder by the Rangers. 29th pick overall by Texas 5 years ago. 2012 was the draft. High school player, Coral Springs High School. So he's had a lot of experience coming through the minor leagues. He was in the pro game in the minor leagues as an 18-year-old in 2012. He got to play right away, signed and got into the system right away. And after 5 years plus in the minor leagues, he has arrived to the big leagues at 24. The bouncing ball to Freeze. That will end the inning. Nick Franklin's show tonight. He has driven in both Brewer runs. He has a homer and a double. 7-2 Pittsburgh.
Minute Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Edwin Encarnacion tonight already has a 2-run home run over his last 12 games. He now has 7 with 17 RBIs and a .436 average. And a big story last night, Anthony Rizzo not facing discipline for his slide into Padres catcher Austin Hedges. That slide knocked Hedges out of the game with a bruised right thigh. Hedges held out, but the MLB decided that the contact was not malicious, but Rizzo did indeed violate the rule. So he had a conversation with Joe Torre and got more explanation of that rule. And again, Rizzo back in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, Rizzo was called out anyway, so there was, while it was a violation of the rule, had he been called safe, they would have reversed that. But yeah, Rocket's a different age now, and you remember back to when Buster Posey broke his ankle, and that rule was implemented the next season. There's a line drive by Frazier into center field, a base hit. And the Pirate leadoff man is aboard.
The slide that they're talking about right here with Anthony Rizzo. Watch the way he deviates over toward Austin Hedges. I mean, Hedges gave him the whole plate. I don't think it was so much the contact as the fact that Hedges gave him the entire plate to go to. And instead of doing that, Rizzo went right into the catcher. You can see the plate. I mean, clearly you can slide. He goes right after Hedges, and that is certainly a violation of the rule, whether you agree with the rule or not. You know, that's the way it is in Major League Baseball these days. I was talking to John Wayner, their analyst. He was a catcher. He agrees with me. I think the rule's ridiculous.
There's a nice pick by Shaw. Goes to second for an out. The throw to first. Not in time. Speedy Harrison beat it out. Terrific play by Travis Shaw. The council might want to just have a quick look at this.
Yeah, good pick, good throw over to second base, and Sogard doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but he gets it off quickly and almost able to turn the double play. Harrison clearly beat that play at first.
Harrison's only grounded into 1 double play this year, and he's safe at first.
You know, the thing about it, it wasn't malicious. I mean, the slide, he almost kind of like slid into him and kind of apologetically.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if he went full arms ablazing, you know, forearm shivers to the face, that's one thing.
If he went Pete Rose on Ray Fosse,
and that's what they used to do.
Right. That was common.
Not that long ago. I mean, that's every man for himself there at home plate. You know, the thing about that play, and you know, if you're Austin Hedges, I mean, you don't have to protect yourself anymore because nobody's sliding into you. So, you know, I guess you take that all away from, you know, the way you plan on making a play like that. It used to be you catch a ball, you're near home plate, you're already in the defensive posture.
Right.
I don't think that's the case so much in baseball these days because nobody's allowed to touch you.
And now there's a little bit of extra burden on a catcher to actually put a tag on a player.
And you're supposed to one-handed tag with a glove that's
right.
impossible to do that with. I mean, it's not designed for that.
It's interesting. I mean, the idea is to keep the stars on the field and try to protect the players a little bit. It's the same scenario out at second base. There's a base hit by Polanco. This guy's been hitting well. 2 more hits today. You see middle infielders these days who they have no fear of anybody rolling them over, and so you're seeing a lot more double plays and fearless at the bag. You can go across the bag. You're not worried about major injuries. The Pirates certainly know about that with 2 of their players, Gung Ho Jung and Jordy Mercer. Mercer was injured right here in Milwaukee. Carlos Gomez went crashing into him at second base. So it's a different game. They are certainly keeping players off the disabled list,
but not including this play with Rizzo and Hedges. I mean, on a typical play, a catcher makes the concerted decision to block home plate.
Santana makes a catch. Harrison does tag, and he'll make it to third.
And again, Hedges was not in a position to actually block home plate. He gave Rizzo the plate. But what I'm saying is, second baseman doesn't have a choice to be around second base on a double play.
Right.
There's the distinction. I mean, a catcher makes a decision to block home plate if he chooses to do that. And if he does that, he better be ready to take a hit.
Right. And because yesterday he wasn't, because he gave him the plate, had Rizzo, had he knocked the ball loose and had he been called safe, they would have gone to review according to Joe Torre, and they would have overturned that call and said that he was in violation, and it would have been an out.
Yeah, and that was a similar play with Scott Cousins going into Buster Posey. Buster Posey was not in front of home plate. Cousins went after him, very similar to that situation. But it's not apples to apples when you're talking about second base and home plate, in my mind, on a normal case.
Diaz fouls one down the right field line.
Well, when you're standing there at second base waiting for a throw from short, and you can't see anything. I mean, you got your back essentially to first base and the runner. All of a sudden you turn around, there he is. I get that. You protect those guys for sure.
It is changing how players play the game on both cases. And the replay era has certainly changed how players take throws at the bag. I mean, that's one example I can think of. Players used to pop a tag, show the umpire, and if the throw beat the runner, you'd usually get the out call. But now, in the age of replay, players are being instructed to keep that tag on them. You might know that bang bang play, if the runner has a foot in the air, he maybe didn't touch the bag, and you can get an out. There's a swing and a miss, and Davies gets out of the inning. He puts up a 0. Pirates threaten with 2 on, fail to score, and a strikeout to get the Brewers back to the dugout. Davies and the Brewers down.
After the 4th inning, and Miami hosts the 88th annual Midsummer Classic on Tuesday. That's July 11th on Fox, and you can make sure your local stars play a big role by filling out your All-Star Game ballot filled with Brewers up to 5 times per day and 35 times total at brewers.com/vote.
Heading to South Beach, the All-Star Game. That's going to be fun. Seen exclusively on Fox.
Yeah, voting ends what, Thursday, right? Coming up.
Right. Yep. I figure the Brewers are going to have certainly one there, maybe 2. Eric Thames is a strong candidate. Guys like Travis Shaw, Corey Knebel. Brewers trying to chip away at this 7-2 deficit as we play in the bottom of the 4th inning. Arcia leads off. The pitcher spot due next. Davies is on deck. And then to the top of the order at Eric Sogard. Chad Kuhl, he's had a lot of base runners behind him, but he's been able to get out of some jams. The Brewers have left 5 on in the first 3 innings. Arcia, a single his last time up. 3-2 now on Orlando. Arcia had an inside the park home run Saturday. That was against San Diego. Now has 5 home runs on the year. 27th inside the park home run in franchise history. He hit one deep into center field, and it hit that side wall, that angled wall on the center field fence that was designed by Robin Yount to give hitters a chance at a triple every now and then. There's that angle. And there's a shot into left and another pulled base hit for Orlando Arcia.
You see a pattern. They're starting to pitch him inside because of his ability to go to right. And now turning on it. A second hit that he's hit very hard. First one into left center. This one into left field. Fastball in. You know, about 3 weeks ago, he probably pulled the hands in, tried to shoot that ball to right field. Not now. Aggressive.
I'll bring up Zach Davies now. Showing bunt. And that's going to be a fair ball. They'll take the out. Osuna went ahead and took the out. It was going foul, but figuring an out's in front of him in a 7-2 ball game. Let's get this inning moving, and that's what he did.
Yeah, that's the right play too. Get the outs when you can get them.
3 unassisted. Davies retired. Another sacrifice bunt adds to his National League lead, and Arcia in scoring position for Sogard. Sogard has extended a hitting streak to 8 straight now. Had a double in the first inning. It's a hard streak too. He has 12 hits in those 8 games. He shows bunt. That's a good one. Dandy. No play for Freese. And when you need base runners, bunting for a hit is a strong play, and Sogard is on with his second hit. Now runners at the corners for Thames.
Yeah, with the power hitters coming out, that's a great play and a good bunt. Boy, really disguised that one right to the last minute. A slider. That just drops it down the third baseline, and no chance for David Freese. Well, you can't roll it out there any better than that. Well done. So Eric Thames hits one out of here now. The Brewers are right back in it.
Yeah, while we're looking at the Brewers' streak of runs scored via the homer ending, I think everybody would like to see one start up again here if you're on the Brewers camp. And Thames just the guy to do it. Ton of hits against Cool. We play in the 4th inning with 1 out, and the Brewers already have 7 hits against Chad Cool and 2 walks. 9 base runners. Now trying to cash in a big way. Thames with 20 homers, 2nd in the National League. He tops the Brewers. Travis Shaw hit his 13th yesterday. Santana and Broxton with 11, and then Hernan Perez in double digits as well. Broxton and Perez not in the lineup tonight. Thames a little behind that breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
Well, he's leaving a lot of those pitches up in his zone, and the Brewers, you know, fouling him off. Hey, remember that one Manny Pena hit the deep center field, a hanger cement mixer just spinning up there, and got away with it, got an out, and there was another one there.
One and 2 on Thames, and he got him again. That breaking ball has been tough on Thames. He struck him out twice now. And a key out for Cool. 2 away, runners at the corners.
He's made a lot of very good pitches with that slider, but by the same token, he's hung a lot of them too. There was a nice pitch with 2 strikes. 89 miles an hour. That's a big league slider right there. Inconsistent with it, but when he throws it right, it's a good pitch.
5 strikeouts now. He struck out Santana with that pitch in the first inning with a runner at third. The Brewers have had multiple base runners on in each of the first 4 innings.
Yeah, Cool has 5 strikeouts, all coming with a man in scoring position.
Got Santana in the first, back-to-back Ks on Sogard and Thames in the second, with runners at second and third. The Domingo trying to add to these numbers a little bit. The Brewers just 2 hits, but they have had 10 at-bats already with runners in scoring position. Only in the 4th inning. Knocking at the door. Way late with that swing on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 0-2. Santana knows he is not in a good place right now. Cool, just powering that fastball in there. He's hit 99 today. Consistently 96, 97 with that heater. 0-2 pitch to Santana. Slow roller foul.
He has really not thrown any curveballs or changeups. It's been all, fastball, slider. Maybe 81 miles an hour, maybe one or two curveballs, but for the most part, it's been all hard stuff.
And his pitching coach Ray Searage was talking about that curveball has been a nice change of pace pitch for him. It's gotten off his fastball a little bit. See what he does here. 0-2. Got him with a slider. Inning is over, and the Brewers strand 2 more. Kuhl has bent. He has not broken. 7-2 the score as we go to the 5th inning at Miller Park. It's South Beach. Baseball's biggest stars take the field for the MLB All-Star Game, July 11th, only on Fox. And the American League voting results have come out. Miguel Sano, the Twins, still hanging in there at third base. And how about Aaron Judge, the top vote getter, the rookie, the home run leader in the majors. Larger than life.
Yeah, a lot of Astros represented. Deservedly so.
Zach Davies back to work. McCutchen at the plate. Homered his last time up. Singled and drove in a pair his first time up. He has driven in 3. Been a tough out. Astros are having a great year. They just keep on rolling, and they look like they're in a position to add. There's been some Sonny Gray rumors floating out there today as McCutchen goes to right. Long run for Santana. Down into the corner. In and out of his glove, and he couldn't quite bring it in. A foul ball.
It would have been a beautiful catch. He had it in the glove a couple of times, just couldn't hold on to it. Not a lot of room down there. What plays this one well, gets it again and drops it. Too bad. Would have been a great catch.
2-2 the count. And McCutchen pulls one foul. Well, as bad as he was at the plate in the first 7 weeks of the season, it doesn't feel like there are many holes right now in the at-bats of Andrew McCutchen. He is on everything. Rolls over one to third. Going to be a tough play. Shaw bare hands, throws. Not in time. McCutchen beats it out. Infield hit.
Yeah, pretty close. Jerry Lane, first base umpire on it. Good pitch by Davies, but McCutchen able to make contact. Shaw way behind the bag at third. This is a nice play. I think he's safe by just an eyelash.
Call on the field is safe, so it doesn't look like there's enough there to overturn it, certainly.
Yeah, he's safe.
It's a good shot right there.
That last one tells you.
So McCutchen is on again, his third hit of the game. Infield hit this time. Leadoff single. Davies trying to power his way through 5 after giving up 6 earned runs in the first inning. Deserves some credit though for settling down. He's only given up 1 run since.
He's got to figure out a way to, you know, eliminate or seriously minimize these big innings that he's been giving up.
Jose Osuna at the plate.
Sometimes one bad inning, all it takes to lose a game.
Pirates scored 8 last night. 7 on the board tonight on 10 hits. Brewers have had their chances though. They've already left 7 men on base through the first 4 innings. Scored twice. Franklin responsible for both of those RBIs. Had a home run and an RBI double. One ball, one strike to count. Got him. Had him way out in front. Good breaking ball that time by Davies.
Yeah, 72 miles an hour on that last curveball, taking a lot off of it. And you see that rotation going straight down, and Osuna way out in front.
First out of the inning. Down at the bottom of the order now, 8th place hitter Jordy Mercer at the plate. McCutchen at first. Mercer had a triple his first time up, pulled one down the left field line. It's on a 2-strike pitch. Pirates brought 10 men to the plate in the first inning. And Mercer was the last of 6 straight hits. Chance for 2 here. Shaw's got it to second, 1. Sogard to first. And Mercer beats it out. Slow developing. Mercer too fast. He'll reach on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, high chopper, not a double play ball. Not with Jordy Mercer getting down the line at first. And Sogard wasn't really able to get his legs under him and get off a good throw. It's kind of a flat-footed throw because of the contact at second base.
So 2 men are out. The pitcher Cool coming up. Josh Hader is getting loose in the Brewer bullpen. Well, Davies looks pretty good. His pitch count's in good shape. He's eating up some innings now. I mean, there was a moment there in that first inning. He was probably 2 batters away from being replaced, and he was able to stretch it out. A 37 pitch first inning. Did give up the home run to McCutchen in the 3rd. That's been the only other run scoring inning.
Yeah, 6 straight hits in the first inning.
There are no moral victories in baseball, but there are bullpen saving moments, and you're always trying to not just save a bullpen, but for Davies to start pitching better and turn it around in that game. You'd hate to take him out and have to sit on that until his next start. He's a great competitor, Davies. He's doing all he can to hang in there.
He never seems really to be out of control or kind of wrapped up. He seems very poised out there on the mound, even when he's not throwing well. Can't tell by his facial expressions whether he's doing well or not.
Jam shot, roller out to Arcia. He'll go to first, and that will retire the side. So Davies is through 5. He's hanging tough. Brewers are down 5. Let's see if they've got some more runs in them tonight.
In baseball, we go out to Wrigley Field. The series between the Cubs and the Padres. Anthony Rizzo, new leadoff man for the Cubs. He led off the game's 2nd pitch off of Jhoulys Chacin, a solo home run. He now has 3 home runs in the leadoff spot. He is 6 for 6, a walk as well, and just continues to produce from the leadoff spot for Joe Madden. That extends his hitting streak to 14 games. And the Cubs have a 2-0 lead in that game. So you see the most leadoff home runs this season. Rizzo, again, just a week into it, 3 home runs already.
That is crazy.
And he had one taken away in Pittsburgh.
That's right. Remember that. He had one taken away. Matter of fact, he had some ejections. Joe Madden got ejected in that game. But he said after that game, he goes, and he was not wrong. Statistically, I'm the greatest leadoff hitter that ever lived. And he is. He has not been retired yet. 6 hits. A double and 3 homers. Wow. Who'd have thunk it?
Thinks he's better than Ricky Henderson, huh?
Okay. He's just talking about statistically. I think all the home runs.
Kidding, of course.
I mean, that's another guy. We're talking about McCutchen here batting 6, but how long can the Cubs have Rizzo leading off? As Shaw leans out on one, he was fooled by the pitch, and Freeze in fair territory makes a catch for out number 1.
Well, crazy things, right? I mean, managers trying to do something to get their offenses going. And Cubs have struggled, Pirates have struggled. So what do? You shake it up a little bit, see what works. And apparently it's working in Chicago and it's working in Pittsburgh.
Brewers are up a game and a half on the Cubs. Cubs went back over 500 last night. Brewers lost to the Pirates, so that lead was trimmed. But I think everybody in the division feels like they're still in it at this point as we hit the 3rd week of June. It's going to be a key stretch, though, as we get to the trade deadline at the end of July. Usually by the All-Star break, general managers are making a decision whether they are in it, whether they are buying or selling. And if you're selling, you try to do what the Brewers have done the last few years and cash in on veteran players for prospects, especially in 14 and 15 for Milwaukee. Two balls and a strike. Manny Pena at the plate. Three and one now. Count goes 3-2. There was some news on the transaction wire for the Brewers today. They signed Tom Wilhelmsen to a minor league deal. Tom was in the Brewers organization a long time ago, and in the minor league system, and then ended up having his best success as a member of the Seattle Mariners. Ended up as a closer at one point for the Mariners. Bouncing ball to Freeze, and there is the 2nd out. So Wilhelmsen, who the Brewers just saw a couple of weeks ago pitching for the Arizona Diamondbacks, is now in the Brewers system. He'll go to AAA, and that could be an option in the bullpen for Milwaukee. Never know, get a different setting and try to hit on a reliever. Brewers did that with Carlos Torres last year. Tried to do it with Neftali Feliz. That didn't work. They released Feliz.
Well, it's been a pretty good run of it for Oliver Drake coming over from Baltimore. Sometimes that's a big deal. Player, a change of scenery, quote unquote. Sometimes it works.
A different set of eyes on a pitcher. Maybe you get a mechanical fix. I think the Brewers really like the idea. Just talking to some of the front office members and Craig Counsell, they like the pitching coaching combo of Derek Johnson and Lee Tunnell. Both of those guys are mechanically minded. The pitching coach and the bullpen coach. A lot of psychology involved in there as well. Both are pretty mild-mannered guys that handle their business well. Lee Tunnell, the former Pittsburgh Pirate, out in the bullpen. And they've been able to flip a number of players.
I tell you, those two guys don't get enough credit for what's been going on with their starting rotation. The bullpen, you know, has struggled as of late. You know, some of the guys have anyway, and Derek Johnson's done a nice job over his first 2 years here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, these aren't household names that he's dealing with, and he's turned a lot of young pitchers and reclamation projects. Brewers are hanging around. It's been a scrappy group. That hit him? It did. Got him. Franklin right on the back foot. And Nick Franklin will reach for the 3rd time tonight after a home run and a double.
And 95 pitches for Chad Kuhl, so you might think this might be his last inning. The slider holds on to a little bit too long, right off the side of the foot. Didn't hit him too bad, and he'll take first. Kuhl's another guy. We talked about Davies not being able to eat up a lot of innings. Kuhl's in the same boat. You know, 5 innings pretty much his limit as of late.
You know what it reminds me of? A young Jake Arrieta, the Orioles version of Jake Arrieta. Electric stuff. And we all know Arrieta at some point found it, turned it into a Cy Young year. And I think that's the idea with Cole, that I mean his stuff is off the charts good, and there's a lot of upside in there, but right now he's trying to find his way. Just arrived to the big leagues last year. This is his second season and trying to make it his first full season.
It's not often a guy can get through a lineup, 3-4 times with just 2 pitches, but he's doing a pretty good job of it tonight. I mean, he's thrown, maybe 3 or 4 curveballs, and that's been it.
1-1 to Brinson. Shot into right. Back on it. Polanco reaches up and makes the catch. Boy, Lewis Brinson has a number of line drive outs lately. That would have scored a run. Unfortunate end for Brinson as the rangy Polanco at 6'6", able to track this one down, and Brinson is robbed yet again. Nice play in right field. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Nick Franklin's been the lone bright spot for the Brewers in this game tonight. Has a home run and an RBI double. Some changes for the Brewers, a double switch as Keon Broxton will enter the game in center field. That gives Josh Hader, the new pitcher, perhaps a couple of innings to work with, and I'm sure the Brewers would like to keep him somewhat stretched out. He's pitching in his 4th game in the major leagues. He was up and throwing in the bullpen on Sunday. Jimmy Nelson went the distance in that game. But Hader brings a lot to the table, Rock. This is the Brewers' #1 pitching prospect.
Yeah, no kidding. And pitched 2 scoreless innings against the Cardinals on Thursday. This guy can bring it. The slider is a work in progress. He's working on a changeup as well, but he can throw.
Josh Hader with a little bit of that Chris Sale look and delivery. Wears 71 by choice. That's what he requested from Jason Schauger, the Brewers equipment manager, which is the number he wore in spring training.
You don't have to fight anybody for that number.
There's a called strike 3 as he zips a fastball in at 95 miles an hour. And a punch out for Hader gets Frazier.
Yeah, working out of the bullpen. He hadn't done that all that much. And you see that fastball catching the inside corner. You see Pena was sitting up on the outside. Reached back over, caught the edge at 95.
Let's check in with Sophia for more on Hader.
I was talking with Hader the other day just about how he's settling into this new role coming out of the bullpen and just life in the big leagues in general. And he said, going back to his debut, he said it's everything that people say it is. He says it's overwhelming, it's exciting, it's that moment that you really can't prepare for. And Hader is an avid hunter and fisherman, and he said it's like sitting in a deer stand for the first time and you see that big buck and you know that you get one shot at it. He said it's like 10 times that emotion.
As he clips Josh Harrison. Do you have deer stand experience, Sophia? Can you relate?
Unfortunately, I do not, but I appreciated the analogy, and I thought that Brewers fans and fans watching across Wisconsin would understand the analogy. And he said it's like seeing that big buck. You know you get one shot at it, and he says it's like 10 times that emotion. So you may also notice he's got noticeably shorter hair. He cut 4 inches off the flow just yesterday.
That's a good call. He did. I did notice that. I thought maybe it was kind of tucked up under the hat. It was getting Geddy Lee length.
4 inches at that length doesn't much matter.
It's like the lawn chair off the Titanic, right? We should take Sophia snipe hunting this offseason.
Yeah.
She's never been.
Season what, November?
It's actually just 3 days in November. That's when they're at their peak. I believe that's when the sniper mating is. Is that right?
How about Josh Harrison getting hit again?
For the second time, he leads the big leagues in hit by pitches. Stands right on top of the plate.
Did I mention yesterday that Ron Hunt got hit by 50 pitches one year?
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think you might have. That might have been the moment when I stopped listening for a little bit.
1971.
I tuned out just a few times yesterday, but I do remember that conversation briefly. Did Ron Hunt stand on top of the plate also?
I don't remember.
Other than the numbers, you're not offering any more analysis of the Ron Hunt hit by pitch record.
They didn't have any video attached to the statistic. Nope.
Now this is fun to see Hader. This is his Miller Park debut tonight. His first 3 outings were on the road. His debut was against Arizona 2 Saturdays ago, and then had a really good outing against the St. Louis Cardinals in the last game of that series. You might remember that game. The Brewers won, and they won the series 3 out of 4 from the Cardinals. Hader went 2 scoreless innings in that game on a night when the bullpen was pretty much down for all of the pitchers that normally pitch when you have a lead late. Knable, Barnes, and Hader gave Craig Counsell 2 solid innings. Has yet to allow an earned run in the big leagues. He has yet to allow a hit in the big leagues. And now 3 2/3 innings. The cleaned up version of Josh Hader, I guess.
You like his aggressiveness. He's not afraid to throw the ball over the plate. I mean, why would you? You know, he has that tall, lanky delivery. Left-hander that throws from, kind of high 3/4. And you can imagine once he is able to, command that slider, he's going to be awfully tough on lefties.
"23 years of age, from Maryland, from a town called Millersville. He was a late draft pick, late rounder, 19th round, but decided to sign. And here he is in the big leagues, and he gets Polanco to pop it up mile high. Thames searching for it. He's got it, and he makes a play. Manny Pena never saw it. Twilight part of the night, he looked up into an empty space.
Yeah, this could be a tough part of the night for pop-ups. The lights haven't really taken full glow, and sometimes that baseball same color as that twilight, the sky up there. And Thames able to two-hand it for the out. That was a good breaking pitch from Hader, though, to get his man Polanco.
Two gone. Here's David Freese. Good fastball for a strike. Hader's number growing up and all through the minor leagues was 17. If you're wondering about the number 71, But that number, while not officially retired, as Hader fires one to first, and just back is Harrison somehow. That number 17 belonged to Jim Gantner. And that's why, again, it's not a retired number, but that's not a number that the Brewers freely hand out, and they haven't given that number out. Gantner was such a terrific player for the Brewers, and part of those famous teams in the 80s, of course.
Tough as nails.
Yeah.
One of the tougher guy in baseball is Jim Gantner. I mean, pound for pound, don't mess with him.
There goes Harrison, and Pena can't find the handle, and it's a stolen base. Number 7 for Harrison. Gantner is still here often. Matter of fact, you'll see him just about every day for home games in uniform, hitting fungos, working with the infielders. It's always great to see Jim Gantner at the ballpark.
Yep, giving Gorman a hard time on the weekends. Gorman's around here over the weekend, and I haven't seen him in a while, though.
No.
Big spike.
1 ball, 1 strike. Freeze takes a ball. Yeah, the 82 team is in a reunion year this year, 35th anniversary. Going to have a big gathering coming up. The commissioner, the former commissioner emeritus, Bud Selig's going to be here, and expecting a great turnout from many from the 1982 team. That'll be coming up in July. One of the great ones. Lost to the Cardinals in the World Series. Had Raleigh Fingers been available and not injured, who knows where that was headed. But imagine a franchise that came to Milwaukee in 1970 and then 12 years later playing in the Fall Classic in the World Series. Monumental story as Hader blows one right by David Freese. Good inning for Hader in his Miller Park debut. This is the future right here, folks. Hard throwing lefty out of Maryland.
Here at Miller Park, the Pirates have a 7-2 lead here in the 6th. And you can join the Brewers Community Foundation for Hitting for the Cycle benefit bike ride on August 12th. The 25-mile route starts and ends at Miller Park and features a post-event tailgate party. Each participant will also receive a club-level ticket to the Brewers and Reds game that evening. You can visit brewers.com/bike ride to register.
Nice, Sophia, on the recognition of the sausage race. That's a perfect description for what that was. Check this out, Rock. Chorizo and the Italian
That's some bad blood.
Face plant.
Our buddy Tim Shea cleaning it all up.
Look at Tim in there cleaning
right
that
there.
mess.
Saves the day once again.
The sausage wrangler.
Our buddy Tim.
Nobody's done it better. New pitcher is Edgar Santana. So the starter Cool goes 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and managed to strand 8 base runners in 5 innings. Brewers had him on the ropes a few times. Both starters go 5. Davies gives up 7 earned runs. RC in the hole. Mercer a long throw, and it's in time for the out.
Oh, a dandy right there.
I think they're going to say he's off the bag. Yeah, Jerry Lane with a very calm call that Osuna was off the bag, and RC is safe. Let's see.
Well, I don't know about that. He was on the corner of the bag. That's a bad call by the first base umpire.
Oh, he dropped the ball here.
Oh, he dropped it. Okay, that's what it was. Wasn't the bag. I think he might have dropped the ball after. You know, he had him right here. I mean, he's got it in the glove. I mean, I guess the question is, does he have it long enough? Looks like he's got it. He's got it up in the air. I don't know.
Well, they go to a challenge here. Jerry Lane, by the way, the man on the right, the umpire on the right, is the crew chief. So
the glove on the ground. He picked it up with the ball in the glove, and then when it went back down again, it fell out.
Yeah, that's a interesting scenario, because there's no umpires will tell you it is all about control. Did he control the ball? You don't have to show it to an umpire, but you have to control the baseball. And the reason why there was such a delay there.
He's got it. He's got it here. He picks it up. I guess that could go either way.
You know, in slow motion, it obviously looks like he had it for a good while, but I was wondering why Jerry Lane came in so late after that call, but he was keeping an eye right down on the baseball in the glove. So this is real speed here. You know, that makes it a little bit different, I think. Did he control the baseball?
I think the fact that he picked it up off the ground and held it there and then went back down, I think it could be very well be an out. But we'll see. This is one of those that's all about interpretation. Right there, see, he picks it up. He's got it in the glove. We'll see.
Home plate umpire Marvin Hudson joins Jerry Lane.
I think the delay is in New York. I think they're talking about the actual rule.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious that he has the ball in his glove for a period of time. They got to be talking about whether he had it long enough.
Interpretation of it. Here comes a call, and safe is the call. So Jerry Lane was correct, according to the replay center, and the call will stand. And what looked like a great play by Mercer to get Arcia ends up as an E3. Error on the first baseman Osuna. Arcia reaches, and a man on to start this 6th inning. Well, now Keon Broxton will bat for the first time. Came in on the double switch for Brenson. Broxton's been hot. Last 9 games, he has 5 home runs and 11 runs batted in. Clutch home runs as well for Broxton in that stretch. Seven to 2 Pirates. Brewers at the plate in the 6th. They've had a lot of traffic on the bases today. They have scored twice, but they've stranded 8.
Only 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and only one of those hits drove in a run.
Big swing by Broxton. 2-1 to count.
And a little over aggressive on a 2-0 count. Pitch out of the zone.
Edgar Santana.
He got called up on June 10th. He was having a good season down in the minor leagues.
There's a strike. 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
You say that so matter-of-factly, you know, these days.
Yeah, that's kind of middle range fastball at this point.
95, 96. Oh well.
Velocity everywhere.
Yeah, no kidding.
We got a sneak peek, Rock and I did, of an article coming out by the great Tom Verducci. And it's a really good discussion point, I think. I don't want to give too much of it away because it's coming out, but you know, he referenced the velocity there in that game with the Brewers and the Dodgers. The game that Clayton Kershaw started. And there was not a pitcher who pitched in that game that had velocity under 93. That's pulled fair inside the bag. Down into the corner it goes, and off to the races. Arcia, he'll try to score. It's bobbled in the corner. Arcia's in, and it's 7-3 Pittsburgh. RBI double for Keon Broxton.
And taking advantage of the error to lead off the inning. Broxton able to roll one inside the third baseline. Good at bat by Broxton. Got the count to full. And got a fastball he liked. It was up. It was in. He pulls the hands in and rips it down the line. And a little problem down there from Adam Frazier, and that's why Ed Cedar sent Arcia. And Brewers right back in it. Down by 4.
12 RBIs in his last 10 games. Ray Searage on his way to the mound. Hurdle is getting his bullpen active. So maybe words of encouragement, but more than anything else, a little time to get the bullpen going. Tony Watson, very talented left-hander in there.
Yeah, a lot of lefties coming up. You got Thames after Sogard, then after Santana, Shaw's coming up. Biding some time with all these lefties.
So how about Broxton? 12 runs batted in the last 10 days. And he's up there among league leaders. Cody Bellinger is on fire right now, the rookie for the Dodgers, who leads the NL in homers. He's driven in 15 in the last 10. And you got Fowler and Adams. Adams is thriving in Atlanta after being traded by the Cardinals. We'll see him next. Brewers have a series with the Braves coming up this weekend. Top of the order coming up. Runner at second. Eric Sogard at the plate. Skips by. Broxton's on the run, and he is going to be out at third base. Oh, just a mistake you can't make in a spot like that.
And nobody out. You're ready in scoring position. And maybe Craig Counsell wants to take a look and see if Freese actually dropped the tag on him.
I'll tell you, that was a heck of a play by Diaz. I mean, I'll give Broxton that. He pounced on it quickly and fired a strike.
Well, he was up even before that ball took a bounce. I'll tell you, Broxton goes in with a feed. He might be safe. Look at that tag is going to be high. Doesn't get him there. He tags him high on the chest, but Broxton tries to grab the bag with his hand, and Craig Counsell wants him to take a look at it.
Bang, bang. Call on the field is out.
I don't blame Counsell for trying to take a look at this one, because this is a game changer right here. See, right there, he gets him on the thigh. The hand's not on the bag. If Keon slides with the feet into the bag, he's going to be safe.
Right there. Yeah, I think you got him. As Freese took a spill.
And there's the tag, and the hand's not on the bag yet.
Well, costly mistake.
Well, an aggressive mistake. Braxton trying to get to third base. And maybe a ground ball to score a run. But you're right. I mean, Diaz jumped on that baseball as quickly as anybody could and threw a strike.
And out is the call. So that will stand as well. And Broxton is gone. Let's take a look at this play by Diaz from his side of it.
Yeah, he's getting up. I mean, he never gets his one knee on the ground. And that's just incredible quickness and balance to be able to get to that baseball so quickly. On his feet, and Broxton went up. Freese was waiting for him. That's a great play behind home plate.
First out of the inning, which goes 2-5. By the way, that call, the language coming back from MLB replay was confirmed. So when you hear that, that means they know the call was accurate, confirming that the call was accurate. If the verbiage goes with the word stands, then they are telling you in the replay center that there's not enough evidence to change the call. So they're not saying safe or out. They're just saying whatever was called on the field is the way it will stand. And then, of course, overturned speaks for itself on the other side. Those are the three things you'll hear coming back. Stands, confirmed, or overturned.
What was the verbiage on the play at first this inning?
Stands.
So they're saying they couldn't confirm whether he had the ball in his glove long
That's
enough?
a great point.
I mean, it's either confirmed or overturned. It can't stand.
I'm with you on that. As soon as you brought the question up, you're right. That was one that felt like more of an interpretation, right?
Right. So it's got to be either one or the other. It's black and white. There's no call stands on that.
Tomato, tomato. That was this play.
Now the question is, it's not whether, you know, the play beat him. It's how long did Osuna have the ball in his glove. Now that's black and white.
That's going to be a walk to Sogard. Well, that play at third is looking bigger now, but the Brewers will put another man on. And Eric Thames coming up, and he will not face Santana. The big lefty, Tony Watson, has been called for by Clint Hurdle. And at least the Brewers have gotten into the winning bullpen of the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's a good sign. Playing the sixth inning, 7-3 Pittsburgh, and Watson is coming on. Pirates here with one out in the sixth. And we remind you that Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Positive Coaching Alliance and its mission to develop better athletes and better people by working to provide all youth and high school athletes a positive character building sports experience. Visit foxsportssupports.com to learn more. And a very talented left-hander, Tony Watson, on the pitch for the Pirates. It has been a bit of a down year for him this year. You see, lefties have actually hit Watson this year, which never used to be the case.
Yeah, mid-May he had a 162 earned run average, and as of late he's been getting hit pretty hard. 14 runs in his last 15 games, and the Brewers are hoping that trend continues.
Thames at the plate with a man at first.
Yeah, Thames with 6 home runs against lefties this year.
6 of his 20. And he sees a lot of them late in games in scenarios like this. Thames hitting at .246 against lefties. Overall batting average .257. And a big wave and a miss. Watson is one of the names you hear of a lot. He is circling in the rumor mill if the Pirates decide to be sellers and they don't get themselves back in contention. You figure Watson might be a guy that many will inquire about, even though he's having a down year. This is a guy you could easily see with another team, easily performing well in a pennant race. He's done it before. Thames trying to get to him. Runner at first, 7-3 game. 1 man out and a strikeout. Thames is gone. And 3 more Ks tonight for Thames. He's 0 for 4. Same line as last night.
I tell you what, that's a pretty well placed slider right there. You can see the spin on it right on the outside corner. Eric out in front. Looks like Thames is in one of those stretches where he's trying to pull the baseball. Doesn't have to do that. He hits a lot of home runs to left.
Santana now with 2 outs. Tony Watson was so good a few years back. He was one of those rare non-closers to make an all-star team. That was back in 2014. Back-to-back years for Watson, he had sub-2 ERAs in 14 and 15. Bouncing ball, that's fair, hits the line. Down into the corner, hits the sidewall. Sogard's going to go to third. And Santana's in with a double. And suddenly the Brewers have a chance again. Second and third, 2 outs on an extra base hit by Santana.
Almost a carbon copy of the double by Broxton. Boy, another position to be able to get a run in. You know, fastball in on him. He's able to turn on it. Got it down a little bit on the trademark, but tucks it inside that third baseline. Well, this time Adam Frazier handles it much better, and Ed Cedar, well, not quite. Ed Cedar not able to score the run.
That's an appropriate description. Much better. He still had his trouble, but it was much better than the last one.
Not as bad as the last time.
All right, second and third. A base hit here. This game completely changes. And Shaw against the big lefty takes a ball. Shaw's been good against left-handed pitching this season. He stays in there well. Good level swing.
There's a lot of damage in these spots against lefties to the opposite field. Let's see what Watson gives him. Probably give him some sliders. There's one.
1-1 the count. One ball, one strike. Travis Shaw at the plate. Pena next. And a jam shot foul. That's the other half of the puzzle for Tony Watson. He has that wipeout breaking ball, but it's all set up by a mid-90s fastball as well. He will eat left-handers alive when he's right.
Yep, sliders away, fastballs in.
Shaw is just looking for a mistake. Brewers have stranded 8 tonight. 2 on, 2 out. Shaw bounces one. Third base. Freeze coming in. Barehanded. Throws in time. Inning over. and a frustrated Travis Shaw. Nice play by David Freese. Saves a run. And the inning ends. The Brewers have now stranded 10 on the barehanded pickup. Just got him.
Down by 4 to the Pirates, and tonight's time of the game winner. Drink Wisconsinably. The Wisconsinably pub. That's not easy to say. Try having a few and saying that. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets. No chance of saying that again. 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
So where'd you hang out tonight?
Some bar.
Wisconsin-bly. It's a bouncing ball, and Thames will shovel it over to Hader. So Josh Hader back out there for his second inning of work, and out number 1 here in the 7th. Here comes McCutchen. This will be a good test for Hader, a red-hot hitter who is 3 for 3 tonight and back-to-back games with 3 RBIs. (7-3) Pirates. Brewers have been in a big hole since the first inning. Pittsburgh scored 6 runs in the first. Give Davies credit, though. He did bounce back. He managed to pitch 5, giving up just 1 more run in a game that looked like could have easily been a very short outing of an inning plus, maybe 2 innings, but he hung in there.
And a night where maybe 2 of your long relievers not available, right? Espino, Peralta,
who pitched last night. Yeah, Espino especially, who went 2 2/3 last night.
Yeah.
Hader has been a starter, and his projection is as a starter, but the Brewers are trying to limit the innings pitched, and it makes sense to have him pitch out of the bullpen right now, and there's a need in the bullpen too as he walks McCutchen.
And people wonder if this is not going to be good for his evolution as a starting pitcher, but this is going to be good for him. I mean, you know, as you mentioned, keep the innings down and give him a bit of a break. At some point, you would figure he's going to go back into a starting rotation somewhere.
Just his 4th big league outing. Good way to break in the bullpen. Pena might have spotted something out to settle down the young lefty.
Well, 5 in a row out of the strike zone.
Hader at AAA Colorado Springs was having a rough start to the year. He was in the rotation. He made 12 starts. It's a really tough place to pitch, though, Colorado Springs. One bad game will blow up that ERA, and he had a few of those. But the numbers you like, giving up fewer hits than innings pitched, even in the high altitude, and more strikeouts, or about the same strikeouts per innings pitched.
Yeah, if you have as many innings pitched as strikeouts, that's considered to be pretty good. You know, 1 inning, nothing wrong with that.
He's averaging about 9 strikeouts per 9. 8.8 officially is the number. Problem was he was walking more than he'd like to. 5.5 walks per 9 innings. Had given up some home runs down there. But he has a very bright future.
That ground ball could be 2 over to Arcia and Sogard for the double play. There you go. That's what he needed.
Hader with 2 innings in the books. 2 scoreless against the Pirates. Keeping the Brewers right there in the picture. Down 4 as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning.
In baseball tonight is Manny Machado's series between the Indians and the Orioles out in Baltimore. In the first inning, hit a home run off Josh Tomlin, and then in the 5th, hit his second home run off of Tomlin, a 3-run shot to tie the game at 5, and that game still tied at 5 in the bottom of the 7th.
All right, Sophia, thanks. One of the great young players in the game, Manny Machado. 7-3 here in Milwaukee. Pirates have the lead. They scored 6 in the first. McCutchen had a home run in the 3rd inning. He's driven in 3 tonight. Been on base all 4 times. And now the Brewers will face Daniel Hudson out of the Pittsburgh pen. Santana to Watson, now Hudson.
He's having a much better season than those numbers would indicate. He had a terrible month of April. Had an earned run average in April around 10. He's been pitching much better. He's scored upon only twice in his last 14 appearances.
Well, the Brewers have had a ton of opportunities. They do have 3 runs in on 9 hits. They have stranded 10. Big velocity from Hudson at 96. Manny Pena hitless at the plate tonight, 0 for 3.
Some kind of fastball right there. I don't remember Hudson throwing 96 miles an hour.
Certainly not as a starter. He's been a starter most of his career until, or leading up to, his injury, and then the last 3+ years in the big leagues, he's been pitching out of the bullpen. Must have a hot ligament in there. It's tightened up. He's throwing fast. And Piña's out. Remember Hudson as a starter with the Diamondbacks and was a 16-game winner. Pitched for Arizona in that 2011 season, the year the Brewers and the Diamondbacks matched up against each other in the division series of the National League. He pitched in that series, took a loss against the Brewers. Nick Franklin has had a good night at the plate. Trying to keep it going here in the Brewers 7th. Franklin has not been retired. He's in our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. First at bat of the night. First home run since April 8th for Nick Franklin. Put the Brewers on the board. At that time it was 6-1 Pittsburgh, and then Franklin with an RBI double in the 3rd inning for the 2nd run of the game for Milwaukee. Broxton has the other RBI.
Yeah, good option from the left side of the plate. He's still looking for his first hit as a right-handed batter, but Craig Counsell loading up the lineup with a bunch of lefties because of Kuhl's lack of success against left-handed pitching, and giving him an opportunity to get a start in today.
No changeup from Hudson. Hudson has had 2 Tommy John surgeries. Isn't it impressive that not only has his career been saved, but here he is as a late game reliever, high leverage reliever for the Pirates, and throwing at 95, 96 miles an hour with a remade left elbow, or right elbow I should say, twice.
Yeah. Tough enough to come back after one. I guess a little bit easier these days. I get a lot of guys are getting it.
There's a shot up the middle on a hop to Mercer. He spins and throws. Franklin is out. Mercer, one of the underrated shortstops in the game. He just makes plays.
Yeah, every team has a guy like that, right? I mean, shortstop is probably your best infielder all around, and Jordy Mercer, very underrated. Able to get the out. Just gets the job done. That's what he does.
And he hits too. Brings a little offense to the game. 2 outs. Here is Hernan Perez, pinch hitter for the Brewers in this 7th inning. Hernan got the start last night, went 0 for 2. .30-year-old Daniel Hudson. Carlos Torres getting loose in the Brewers pen. Looks like he'll have the Pittsburgh 8th inning. 2 scoreless innings for Josh Hader. He continues to impress. Still has yet to allow a hit, has yet to allow a run in his 4 big league games.
Right, he looks good. I mean, he threw a couple of change-ups for strikes. Slider looked good. That slider is going to be a good pitch against lefties. And just wild enough to keep guys honest in that batter's box.
Especially on that occasion when he throws so hard his glasses fall off. He pitches out of his glasses sometimes. Perez in the air, shallow. Easy play for Harrison, and that'll retire the side. 1, 2, 3. The Brewers go in order. Hudson with a strong inning out of the bullpen, and we go to the 8th with the Pirates up by 4.
Trailing the Pirates 7-3. We've got a game break for you. The Cardinals and Phillies, free baseball for them in Philadelphia. They were even at 1. Then Stephen Piscotty doubled to score Matt Carpenter and Dexter Fowler off of Casey Fiend. So that gave the Cardinals a 3-1 lead, and that inning has continued. The Cardinals have extended their lead to 7-1 now. 2 outs in the 11th there in Philly.
All right, Sophia, thank you. And now we'll keep an eye on Piscotty, who was a struggling hitter when we saw him in St. Louis. Looks like he might have it going again.
Yeah, couldn't buy a hit against the Brewers.
That game, they just flipped the score on that. Just as Sophia was wrapping up that report, it's now 8-1. Talk about a breakout in extra innings. Yeah, Carlos Torres, Rock.
Yeah, last pitch on Saturday against the Padres. A couple of runs he gave up in an inning of work. Gave up a home run to Solarte, a 2-run shot. Got to get this guy going again.
Jordy Mercer leads off for Pittsburgh. Got a triple his first time up. He's 1 for 3. Back up the middle and a base hit. Lead single for Mercer.
Hey, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, the Brewers and Packers team up for a Pack at the Park. This special ticket package includes a seat for the Crew's matchup with the Pirates, plus a green and gold Brewers hat. Go to brewers.com/theme nights.
Lead man on, and a pinch hitter is coming up for the Pirates. Josh Bell, their everyday first baseman. Getting the day off from the starting lineup tonight. This is a 4-game series. Wraps up Thursday afternoon. Night game tomorrow night. 7:10 first pitch, and then we're in a matinee on Thursday, and then the Brewers will hit the road to Atlanta and Cincinnati. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Trevor Williams against Junior Guerra tomorrow.
I hope that Junior has a feel for that split-fingered fastball. He had a tough time with it last time out. A lot of curveballs. It's that four-seam fastball from Carlos Torres. We've seen him throw a few more of those as of late. The cut fastball not working as he'd like. Trying something different.
Oh my goodness, what a swing that was. Thames got a hustle to first base and just does beat Bell. That was something you might see in cricket. That bat was straight down. It looked like it was coming down and in. Look at the swing.
I'm telling you what, I mean, this baseball here, both feet in the air. He hits it and keeps it fair. That's not something you see every day.
Once you're committed, man.
Making contact with both feet off the ground.
3 unassisted on the put out. Runner at second for Torres now. Back to the top of the order. They're giving him a hard time in that Pirates dugout. Sometimes you got to beat the others to the punch. That's a good imitation right there. When you're subject to ridicule, you have to strike first, I've found.
Yeah, well, you know, when you're up by 4 in the 8th inning, it's real easy to make fun of yourself and something like that, right?
It's all fun and games.
It's funny when you're winning.
Adam Frazier batting with 1 away. Had a single in the 4th inning. It's his only hit. Center field, Broxton eases over. And there is out number 2. Tagging is Mercer. He'll make it to 3rd. So 2 gone, runner 90 feet away from scoring, and it'll be Josh Harrison. Who has been hit twice tonight. Leads the majors in hit by pitches. He and Anthony Rizzo are in a race to see who can get hit more.
You think they'll get to 50?
What is the record, Rock? Swinging a foul out of play.
I just try to add on. You mentioned he gets hit by pitches a lot. So there you go. He's got a long way to go to get the Ron Hunt.
Ron Hunt getting some serious play on Brewers television the last 2 days, courtesy of Josh Harrison. Runner at 3rd, 2 outs. 0-2 the count. Josh is the nephew of John Shelby, former Brewers coach, former Oriole and Dodger. T-Bone.
What's T-Bone doing these days?
He is a hitting coach in the minor leagues. Can't remember which organization, but he's still at it. He's had a long career in baseball. One of the nicest men you'll ever meet. Been a part of a World Series team, the '88 Dodgers. He was on that famous ball club, the Kirk Gibson-led Dodgers. He's with the Rockies, my sources tell me. One-two count, and a little soft liner out to Arcia. That's the inning. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Brewers are coming up. They are down 4. Let's see if they can put up a fight tonight at the end. off the bottom of the 8th. The Brewers need some base runners and some runs, trailing by 4. Craig Kashan on board with you here on Fox Sports Wisconsin, getting ready for Brewers Live postgame presented by Ascension. It was a quick start for the Pirates against Zach Davies. 6 runs in the first. We'll break that one down. Also, Josh Hader making his Miller Park debut as well. And the Franklin Show, he shows off his bat. We'll talk about that and plenty more here from Craig Counsell. How about Pittsburgh Pirates starting pitching? They were struggling coming in this series, and the first 2 on board, quieting Craig Counsell's Brewers bats here. We'll break it all down coming up in just a bit, guys.
All right, Craig, thanks a lot. It'll be Juan Nicasio to pitch the bottom of the 8th against Milwaukee. Arcia will lead off, then Broxton, and then back to the top of the order.
Yeah, just as many strikeouts as innings pitched for Nicasio. Another hard thrower coming in from that Pirates bullpen. Yeah, Pirates only have 7 relievers down there to start the game. Yeah, most teams carrying 8 these days.
How can you get by with just 7 relievers, Ron?
Man, no kidding, huh? Brewers had 9 for a little while.
Clint Hurdle, professional gum chewer.
There was a period of time where he wasn't chewing gum. Now he's back at it.
He has to have the strongest jaws of any human alive. All that gum. Once on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a player with the Royals. Had a very bright future ahead of him. Didn't pan out that way, but he's had a long career as a big league manager. Swing and a miss. Arcia with a big hack on a big fastball by Nicasio at 95 miles an hour. Arcia making sure the pull swing was in place right there. He has 2 hits tonight. And he draws the walk. That's what you needed. Brewers have a base runner. There have been a ton of base runners in this game for Milwaukee.
That'll get Clint Hurdle chewing that gum a little harder. 4-run lead in the 8th, leadoff walk.
I've got 15 base runners for the Brewers tonight. They've stranded 10. They have 9 hits. And Hurdle to the phone. That's what you want to do if you're the Brewers here. This was a 6-0 game in the first inning. And if you can get to the point where you've got the manager of the opposing team rattling up his best relievers, which the Brewers have done, then that's one small victory you could count. Everything leads to the next day.
It was basically a 6-hitter stretch for Zach Davies in the first inning. 6 consecutive hits. That's hard to do.
They put 7 straight batters reach base in that first inning. And before you know it, it was 6-0. Davies did settle down, ended up going 5. Hader went 2 scoreless. Torres with a scoreless inning as well. Broxton a swing and a miss. Keon, the former Pirate. Brewers got him from the Pirates in a deal 2 years ago. Jason Rogers went the other way. Rogers still in the minor leagues for Pittsburgh. Indianapolis, their AAA home. No balls, 2 strikes on Broxton. Juan Nicasio following Daniel Hudson, who had a 3-up 3-down 7th. Tony Watson went the 6th. Brewers down 4, needing base runners. 0-2 the count. Arcia at first. And Broxton is down on strikes. Nicasio with his first K.
And breaking pitch at 89 miles an hour. These Pirate pitchers had some good velocity on their breaking stuff tonight.
Top of the order here is Sogard. On base 3 times tonight. 2 hits, a walk. Thriving in that leadoff role for the Brewers. Father's Day came and went Friday. I was thinking about Sogard's father moment. His daughter Sadie became quite the viral sensation after Eric had homered in San Diego. That was his first week with the Brewers. He had hit a home run and looked like that was going to give the Brewers a chance to win that game. Padres ended up with a home run later in that game, the next inning, to win the game. And Sadie was distraught. She was so upset, mad at the Padres for also hitting a home run. And Eric's wife shot the whole scene. Sadie was crying, and that was everywhere in the next couple of days. All the talk shows and all the national talk shows. Good Morning America, the Today Show. She became quite the celebrity, young Sadie.
Right.
Good family man, Eric. His wife actually is a ball player as well. Played at Arizona State. So baseball is an easy conversation in the Sogard household. Snapped over to first. Pitch was called a strike.
Got a good arm. He's got good skills behind home plate. He's got to take a back seat to anybody defensively.
Late add to the lineup tonight. Elias Diaz for Francisco Cervelli, who has flu-like symptoms. Wonder if that'll set him back another day. 1-2 the count. Throw to first. Arcia's back. I don't think Arcia is a threat to run in a spot like this, but you never know.
Well, if you run, what am I going to say, right? Better make it.
One and two the count. Sogard with 32 games with the Brewers. He's getting on base at a .468 clip. OPS over 1,000 now. Combining the on base percentage and the slugging average. Slugging percentage. That's a big number and a pretty good sample size. And a bouncer over to third. It's going to be a tough play. Barehanded by Freese. Wow. And the throw is in time.
Man, we've seen some good defense or what?
Only chance he had to get an out right there.
Yeah, that was just a tremendous play. That ball spinning pretty good just to keep it in the glove or the hand like that. Gets a good grip on the throw and flat-footed, getting Sogard by a step. Oh, that's some slick defense we've seen on the left side of this Pirates infield tonight.
Does advance a runner to second, but Brewers in need of base runners here. Freese has made a couple of plays. He saved a run last inning. 2 innings ago, I beg your pardon, on a play he made on Travis Shaw on a bare hand pickup. Could have extended the inning. Brewers would have had another run in, having already scored in the 6th. Game-changing defense from David Freese. Eric Thames with 2 outs. Oh, wow. That was some venom in that swing by Thames.
Yeah, Thames can't believe he missed it. Sometimes you feel up there like there's a hole in your bat.
Maybe a little shaken up, wincing a little bit. He missed again, and he's struggling.
And 98 in on his hands that time. Both of them right on the inside corner, big velocity.
Such a powerful swing. Wonder if he tweaked something on those two swings. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs in the inning now. Arcia is the runner at second. See if Nicasio goes right at him. He does, and he strikes him out to end the inning. Tough night for Thames. We go to the 9th. Pirates coming to bat, leading by 4 at Miller Park in Game 2. Brewers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. We go to the 9th. Roof is open tonight. A little bit of a cool night in June in Wisconsin. 7-3 Pirates. 6 of those runs came in the first inning. And Carlos Torres back out there trying to give Counsell 2 innings. You'd have Hader, who goes 2. Torres for 2 if he can finish this off, and you could get to the finish line without having to dive too deep into your bullpen, and that certainly didn't look like that was going to be the case in the first inning. Credit Davies for putting the lid back on the jar somewhat after that troubling first.
Although, you know, the Brewers offense come up with a few big hits with men in scoring position, you might be seeing Corey Knebel in this inning.
Changes everything, right?
They had their opportunities throughout the night.
Brewers have left 11 on base. 3 runs on 9 hits. Polanco's had a good night for the Pirates. 2 hits, 4 tries, both singles. That'll be good if the Brewers can get Carlos Torres back to the form we saw him in last year. He had a rough window there in late May and on into early June. He's pitching better lately, though. Need him.
Yeah, he was money last year. I mean, started out pretty well this year, and he's trying to make some adjustments. I mean, there's been a period of time where the cutter just hasn't been moving like it did a year ago. So he's going back and forth between the cut fastball, the four-seamer, throwing some curveballs, trying to work his way through it.
2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. He got him on a fastball at 93 miles an hour. Good heat from Torres.
Yeah, there's that four-seam fastball up and away, and Polanco underneath it.
Cubs are leading the Padres right now 4-0. That game is in the 9th inning. Chicago trying to wrap that one up. Cubs took 2 out of 3 from the Pirates in Pittsburgh prior to this series, and they are on the verge of winning the first 2 against San Diego. Which would mean the Brewers lead, barring a comeback in the 9th, would be down to a half a game. Cubs getting good pitching today. Multiple relievers used. Torres makes a play. That'll be out number 2 as Freese bounces out. Cubs working on a shutout with Montgomery, the starter who went 6, Edwards, Strop, and now Grimm is on to try to finish it off. Sophia reported that Anthony Rizzo hit yet another leadoff home run. He is 6 for 6 leading off games. 3 of those are homers. Rizzo now has 17 home runs for the year.
How long do you think that's going to last?
I don't know. That is such a.
I mean, it could. He just could keep him in there. Who knows? I mean, with that kind of production.
You give him credit for trying something. Their offense was sputtering along so poorly that I think Joe Madden is the one guy that can put anybody anywhere and it'd be okay.
He probably went up to Rizzo and said, "What do you think? Let's get this thing going. We need to get something. We need to do something different here." And Rizzo said, "I'll try it," and it's been working.
Apparently, the rumor is that Anthony Rizzo has been lobbying to hit leadoff since the day Joe Madden arrived in Chicago. And until this year, it has been kind of a side joke. He let him lead off in spring training. And guess what? He hit a home run. So technically, if you count spring training stats, he's 7 for 7 as a leadoff hitter, with 4 homers. Now the lineup goes Rizzo, Bryant tonight, Contreras. They've moved Happ out of the 2 spot.
What if you count the one that was overturned?
You wouldn't have to go technically there, but you could just say that that could be number 5.
Spring training, the one that was a home run, then wasn't.
I'm with you. Tracking with you. Fly ball to right. Santana is under it. And those are 2 good innings by Carlos Torres. Brewers getting a little silver lining out of their bullpen tonight. Hader for 2. Torres for 2. Let's see if the Brewers have 4 in them. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Brewers need 4 to keep this thing going here. Domingo Santana will lead off. And Felipe Rivero is the next man out of the Pittsburgh bullpen.
Interesting that Clint Hurdo put Tony Watson in the 7th inning. Actually, yeah, I mean, that's his closer. He's got 10 saves. Now Rivero on here in the 9th. His 37th appearance. So Rivero, a guy that has worked a lot. Look at the earned run average at .72. This guy's got great stuff.
He's only given up 1 run in his last 16 games. 16 2/3 innings. And he'll face Santana, Shaw, and Pena. Bottom of the 9th from Miller Park. Brewers have been down from the get-go. That's a bouncing ball. Mercer makes the play for the out and 1 away on the first pitch. The 6-run first did Davies in. Zach went 5 innings, 7 earned runs total, 10 hits. And he's still searching, trying to put the pieces together that we saw last year. But the Brewers have gotten some good work out of the bullpen. Josh Hader and Carlos Torres. So that means, barring a big comeback here right now, you're going to come fully loaded and ready to go for tomorrow with a fresh pen. Managers are always searching. Shaw, bouncer, backhanded by Harrison. 2 outs. Well, it'll be game 3 tomorrow. Rock will be here. He's on Brewers Live tomorrow with Craig Kashan. Doing a fine job on the Brewers Live pregame, by the way, Rock.
It's a pleasure to work with Craig Kashan. It really is. And in that pregame show, he's a pro.
Unlike the rest of us.
No, I'm not talking about you. No, I'm just saying it's a lot of fun doing that pregame show. Pregame and postgame.
He's got a very shiny suit on tonight, by the way, Craig.
Don't tell him I was complimenting him. He's not used to me doing that.
Is that shark skin, Craig?
Yeah. It's whatever you think it is. Trust me. If it's good, I've got it on.
That is tight. Looks nice.
He's got the pocket square working too.
I know, and I noticed you've been breaking out the pocket square as you've gone to the Brewers Live post game. Not tonight?
Not tonight, no.
Yeah, maybe stuff a hot dog down there. It'll look the same.
Napkin, sanitary sock.
No, that's for ties, right?
Yeah.
The Pete Vukovich tie.
Right.
Pete Vukovich actually wore a tie that was a sanitary sock on an airplane, according to Bill Schroeder.
With a golf shirt. Because we were
and a blazer.
We were supposed to wear ties.
And a horse blanket.
Had a golf shirt on. Yeah, found out and got to the ballpark, needed a tie, and got one of those white sanitary socks, knotted it up, nobody knew.
There's a lot of young kids are going to have to Google sanitary sock. Liner into left field and a diving catch by Frazier. Heck of a play to end the game. And the Pirates win it tonight. Pena robbed of a base hit. And that'll do it. This was ugly from the start. The Brewers had a chance to fight back, but a lot of runners left on base. 11 of them, as a matter of fact. And Pittsburgh has won the first 2 games in this series. They win it tonight 7-3. Time for Brewers Live. Craig starts it solo. Rock will join him momentarily. Take it away, Craig.
Okay, BA, and the Pirates do indeed have the first 2 games of this series. So the Brewers have dropped 3 of their last 4. And Davies gets rocked in the first inning. We'll look back at that. Hear from Craig Counsell on the way. Brewers Live presented by Ascension.